In this video, I'm going to walk you guys through Microgreens CoPilot, the tool that brings structure, consistency, and predictability to your entire farm. A lot of growers rely on memory or guesswork to manage their weekly tasks, and that's what keeps them stuck and constantly playing catch up. I know this because I've been there, which is why I created the software. CoPilot removes all that mental clutter so you know exactly what needs to be seeded, harvested, delivered, and tracked every single day without stressing or second guessing yourself. I'll show you step by step how to use it to stay organized, save time, and run your farm on easy mode. Let's jump in. To CoPilot for the first time, you'll see that there's already some data in the software, and this can totally be changed. The reason that this is in here is to make it easier for you guys to understand when you first use the software how everything all connects together, and also because my own personal crop recipes that I recommend are included in this software, which I'll show you in a minute. So when you first log in, you always end up on the dashboard, and this will show you what needs to be done on a specific day, any upcoming deliveries, how many trays of each variety are currently being grown, and a quick overview of the next 7 days. And you can always change this to any day you want to see what's coming up ahead. But yeah, this will just give you a quick overview of the day and week ahead. So next up is the products tab, and this is where all your data is going to be for your crops. So the unit sizes you sell in, the seeding rate, yields, grow days, if it's a crop or a mix, and you can change whenever you want in the settings here between empirical and metric, so depending on where you live in the world. And I know some farms that use some things in ounces and pounds and other things in grams, so you can just switch in between. You can toggle it and it'll change everything here. So if you're, instead of doing it manually, you can just change it on there. Now the mixes are created automatically, so you can just click this mix builder and then add whatever components you want to a mix and name the product and save that, and it'll automatically calculate how many of each of those trays you need to grow based on your orders, which we'll show you in a minute. But it's super easy, it's super quick to make your mixes, and yeah, so that's that. And then for the individual varieties, when you click the edit button, you'll see you can edit those seeding rates, the yields, the number of grow days, but even more importantly, you can edit the steps that need to be done. So this will directly impact what's shown on your daily task sheet. So you can pick between a bunch of different categories of steps, and you can add as many steps as you want and pick the days that those steps happen. And then you can put the actual details of how much grams of seed to soak, or how much fertilizer to put in the soil, how much soil to use, etc. So this just makes it super easy and organized to have this data on your daily task sheet, which I'll show you in a minute. So you can add as many steps or as little steps as you want. And what's nice is that all these, like for example, for a mix, all these steps are going to be broken down for the amount of trays and the steps for those products based on the components of those mixes. So if crunchy mix is pea shoots, sunflower, and radish, it's going to tell you how many trays of each of those varieties you should grow based on the yields and the customer's orders, which is super nice and convenient. It makes it so much easier than trying to do this on spreadsheets, and it gets very complicated very fast, especially if you have like 5 mixes and like 15 products. It can get very, very complicated. Next up is the calendar, which is just a way to look at what's kind of happening over the coming month or 2 or 3, or however you want to look at it. So you can always zoom out ahead and see, okay, I've got these big orders coming up in the next month or whatever, and it just allows you to plan a bit better. Next up is the daily task sheet, which is something you're probably going to use on a pretty routine basis. So if you just look at, let's say we look at this date here, you can see all the tasks that need to be done and the number of trays that needs to be done for those tasks. So as an example, all of these numbers are based on the orders tab, which I'll show you in a minute. So these are how many trays need to be planted based on the orders, whether they're weekly, bi-weekly, one-off orders, monthly orders. And so you don't have to think about how much you actually need to plant. You can plant based on the orders without even thinking about it, which is really nice, and know with confidence that you're growing the right number of trays for your customers' orders. So what's really nice about this is that if you have multiple staff at your farm, let's say you're on vacation or you're away, you can keep an eye of what's been done at the farm, because this will update in real time. So another thing that's really nice is you can print this out and have it on paper, because I know when there's water and stuff, like it's just nicer to have sometimes things printed out. But this is going to be really powerful because it's going to allow you to keep everything really, really organized and clear of what actually needs to be done every single day, so that you don't forget steps, things aren't missed, the right number of trays are planted for every single variety. It just keeps things super simple and very organized for you and or your staff if you have any. Next up is the customers tab. So this is where you're going to put your customers' information. And this is just pretty basic, like, just any notes you have, their address, their email, etc. And then the orders tab is where you're actually going to put in the customer's orders. So let's say you have, a customer and they have a bi-weekly order, and the first delivery is going to start on the 12th, and their order was for, let's say, 3 clamshells of pea shoots and let's say 2 arugula. Then you save that order, and then now everything in a daily task sheet based on the date it started and what's being planted and the type of order, which in this case is bi-weekly, it's going to update the numbers for arugula for the next time those need to be planted, which is really nice. So that's going to just keep things really clean. So everything's really based on these orders. So as long as your orders are accurate, everything in this system is going to be accurate, and it's going to give you the exact numbers of trays to plant for each variety to ensure that you have these orders ready on the dates that you have them in, whether it's a one-off order, a weekly order, bi-weekly order, or a monthly order. And then here you have a demand and tray plan, so you can just see based on a specific date what the demands are for certain crops, the yields that are expected per tray, and the trays that are required for that. Next up, we have the pack sheet. I love this. I honestly wish I had this at my farm. But what you can do here is there's a mix calculator. So based on the mixes you have, let's say you have 25 clamshells that need to be packaged on your harvest day and you want 5% overage, then you can see how much of each crop you want to mix together in a bin to make sure you have enough of that crop. And again, all this can be changed in the settings to grams instead of ounces if you see fit. And then there is a pack sheet, which is really, really helpful. It shows you the totals for each product, and then it breaks it down by customer. And so this is great not only for harvest and packing days, but also for delivery days. I can't even tell you how many times we had to go back to a customer because a product was missed, or we delivered too many to one customer and not enough to another. When you have like 20, 30 orders, it's quite easy to mix something up. And this can save you a ton of time to just print this off for your delivery driver and have them, just double check before they drop it off that they delivered the right number of products for that customer. And then also it's super helpful on packing days because you can just print this off and just check them off one by one as you go through them. So that's super, super helpful. Next up is the log. So this might be extremely helpful for some farms, and some farms may not even use this. I'd recommend using it because having this data of keeping a track of the crops you grow, the seeding rates, the yields over time can be really helpful. For example, you can export this data to ChatGPT and just upload it to it and get it to analyze your crop data. So maybe it finds out that, let's say in the summer months, your basil is getting significantly higher yields than you can, and in the winter you're getting significantly lower yields. It'll be able to determine that for you, and maybe it's a temperature thing, or maybe it's a humidity thing, and you have notes here about hey, temperature in my farm was 80 Fahrenheit instead of 70 that week. And you can see that the yield improved, or maybe there was more disease or whatever it may be. So this allows you to keep track of that data in one place in an easy to understand format and be able to export that so you can use AI to improve your yields over time, which is super, super powerful. So again, some farms may not want to use this, but generally I'd recommend it because I can tell you over time having that data will be more and more powerful and useful as AI becomes more useful and powerful in our day-to-day lives. The next tab is the delivery route tab. This is absolutely my personal favorite part of this software because deliveries become a bigger and bigger part of your farm as your farm gets larger and larger scale and you have more customers, more deliveries. So having this is just so helpful. So what you can do is pick your delivery date. You're going to build the list. It's going to start at your address, which is your farm or your home. You can choose to return to start. You're going to see there's a list here, but this list is right now not optimized for the most efficient deliveries. So what this is going to do is when you click this button, it's going to optimize the route and going to put it in the order that is the most efficient based on traffic in that current moment in time or current day, and going to reorganize it. So this way you're going to spend the least amount of time sitting in a car doing deliveries and the most amount of time on your farm or spending time with family and friends. Like, this can save a significant amount of time for a lot of farms, especially if you live in a bigger city where there's a lot of traffic. Every day, every delivery can be different based on the traffic, and this is going to use that traffic data to optimize the route to save you the most amount of time. This alone would have saved us probably like 2 to 3 hours a week, because sometimes you just get stuck in traffic, and if you could just go to this other area where there's less traffic and re-optimize that route based on that, like, that can save a significant amount of time. So especially when you have 20, 30 deliveries, there's almost, unfortunately, always traffic in cities, and this will allow you to save a ton of time with that. So you can open this up in Google Maps on your phone. So Microgreens CoPilot and IQ are both mobile optimized software. So you can open this up on your phone and then just open it, and it'll open Google Maps. And within seconds, you can literally be on your route ready to go. So what's nice is that you can do this right before you deliver, and that will give you the most accurate information on the route that's going to save you the most amount of time. And there's a limitation of Google Maps that you only have 9 waypoints per map setup. So you can segment it out. So let's say you have 30 deliveries. You would put the first 9. When you get to the 9th delivery, you would click the second segment and then open that in Google Maps and keep going until you end up back at your home point. And and it's going to save you a ton of time. You can also print it, but honestly, just using on your phone makes a lot more sense. And then lastly, you have the settings tab, which I showed earlier, the ability to change between metric and empirical. You can also change the delivery mode. So whether you deliver the day after harvest or deliver the day of harvest will determine when you plant your crops. So this will just allow you to make that change depending on if you're delivering the day after harvest or delivering on harvest day, to ensure your planting days and all the information on the daily task sheet is accurate based on that. And then the last part of this is the repeating tasks, which are tasks that are independent to the products. So you have product specific tasks, and then you have like farm general tasks. So something like watering every day or washing and disinfecting your trays. So you can add as many of these as you want and put notes and whatever, and what day of the week they are. So for example, for washing and disinfect trays, got some details here about my disinfecting regimen and then the days of the week. So when you go to the daily task sheet and you click on a Friday, you'll see that task and those details pop up here to ensure that you actually do that task on the appropriate day. So that's Microgreens CoPilot. It is a super, super powerful software that'll keep your farm organized, have you make less mistakes, which means more profit for you, and making it easier for you and your staff to manage and run your farm and do it in a way that's more efficient, saves you time, less mistakes, like I said, and just keeps everything organized. I wish I had Microgreens CoPilot when I ran my farm. It would have saved not only a lot of time, but a lot of mistakes on deliveries, on packaging of our crops, just making mistakes that can be very costly by planting on the wrong day. This just keeps it super organized, super easy, and you guys are gonna love it. So I can't wait for you guys to check it out and start using this software along with Microgreens IQ. And if you have any questions, just put them in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer any of your guys' questions. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.